going to be reading part 4 of Tales of a Not So Fabulous Life, so let's get started. Wednesday, September 11th. Today, everyone in the cafeteria was super excited because Mackenzie was handing out invitations to her big birthday bash. You can see right there. And it says Mackenzie handing out party invitations. Guys, we're high-fiving one another, and girls like Lisa Wing and Sarah Conhan were crying and hugging one another like they had just scored tickets to a sold-out concert of their favorite boy band. It was beyond disgusting. For the rest of the day, everyone Mackenzie invited to her party sucked up to her like human vacuum cleaners, except for Brandon Roberts. When she gave him an invitation, she tried to flirt with him by twirling her hair around her finger and smiling really big. She even accidentally dropped her purse on purpose so she would pick it up for her. But Brandon just glanced at Mackenzie's invitation, shoved it into his backpack, and walked right past her. And boy, did she get upset when he blew off like that. Then a bunch of jocks trampled all over her expensive new designer purse before she could pick it up off the floor. Personally, I kind of liked the dirty footprints better than the boring floral pattern. Anyway, Brandon is so cool. From that, I can tell he seems to be kind of the quiet rebel type. He's a reporter and photographer for the school newspaper and has won a few awards for his photojournalists. Once he actually sat at my lunch table, but I didn't think he noticed me staring at him, probably because his shaggy wavy hair is forever falling into his eyes. And today in biology, when he asked if he could take a picture for the school newspaper of me dissected my frog, I almost died. I was shaking so badly I could hardly hold the scalpel, but now every tiny detail of his perfect face is permanently etched in my mind. It says, "Is it possible that I am falling in love for the first time?" Squeak. I'm seeing the biology from the learning. It says, "The Biology of My Heartbreak" by Nikki Mixwell. I see you in my dreams, you're in your favorite white bottom-down shirt, sitting across from me in the cafeteria. I've never seen anyone eat fries so beautifully. I see you in biology class, taking pictures for the school newspaper, when you whispered to the depths of my soul, hold the frog at an angle. First, it's only you who can make a photo of this dissected frog. Seems so vibrant, so alive, yet dead. It hurts to feel this way. To know that you'll never know me, to want to run my fingers through your dark wavy hair. As I realize that the put-rin smell of formaldehyde and dull glaze of the lifeless frog will forever remind me of us. Thursday, September 12th. During my PE class, even the scared of balls girls were gossiping about Mackenzie's party. But I'm pretty sure they didn't get invited either. They're the really pissy girls who hang in small groups and scream hilariously whenever a ball comes near them. It could be a basketball, football, baseball, soccer ball, tennis ball, volleyball, beach ball, ping pong ball, mouth ball, or even a meatball. They're not very picky. Scared of balls girls playing volleyball. See here, they're just talking and then just running away because they're scared of the volleyball. Chloe and Zoe. Red team wins by 1 point. Your grade is A+ losers. Hit the showers. Your grade is C. The PE teacher. Yep. You can always count on the scared of balls girls to mess up things and lose the game for you. It's really cruddy to have the girls like Chloe and Zoe on your team, especially if you absolutely hate taking showers after PE class. Just the thought of showering at school makes me nervous. It will totally be their fault if I catch some kind of incurable disease from the slimy mold and mildew growing in those nasty showers. Why I hate showering in PE class. Before my shower, I'm lightly sweaty but clean and fresh. There's the first picture I just read. After my shower, I'm covered in stink, mildew, and slime. The second picture I read and first. Together. I was really surprised when Chloe and Zoe came up to me after PE and started talking, of course. I pretended like I was not super angry at them for running away from the ball and making me filthy from taking that nasty shower. Apparently, Miss Peach told them I was assigned to work with them in the library and they were actually excited about it. Like, what is so exciting about shelving library books? But I just played along and pretended to be as thrilled about it as they were. I was like, OMG, OMG, I can't believe we're going to be shelving books together. How cool is that? We ended up eating lunch together at the table 9, and it was really nice not having to eat alone for once. Chloe's full name is Chloe Chasina Garcia, and she is Latina. Her family owns a software company. It was amazing because she has read like all of the latest novels. She says she lives victoriously through the characters' joys and heartbreaks and learns a lot of stuff about life, love, boys, and kissing, which she plans to use when she goes to high school next year. She said she owns 983 books and has read most of them twice. I was like, wow. Zoe's full name is Zoisha Ebony Franklin. And she is African American. Her mom is an authority and her dad is a record company executive. She has met practically all the biggest pop stars and says they're just normal people. Zoe says she likes reading shelf people and inspirational books because they help her to appreciate the simple joys of living. She explained, "Now I have a mom and a stepmother. Having just one overbearing mother figure in your life can sometimes be challenging and mentally exhausting. But can you imagine having two? OMG." Then Zoe said, "Nikki, how can you stand having a locker next to Mackenzie's? She's so shallow. She rubs lipstick on her forehead to make her mind to make up her mind. And being super confident can sometimes develop into a narcissistic personal disorder." I could not believe Zoe actually said that. I thought everyone at the school worshipped Mackenzie. We laughed so hard that chewed up carrot bits shot right out of my nose. Zoe, Chloe, and me laughing our butts off. All three of us were like, "Ew, gross." And then Chloe said, "Hey, carrot flavored boogers. Let's give them to Mackenzie so she can sprinkle them over her tofu salad as a low carb topping." We laughed so hard at Chloe's joke that the kids sitting at the tables 6 and 8 started staring at us. I even saw Mackenzie glancing our way. But then she looked away really fast so we wouldn't make the huge mistake of thinking she actually acknowledged our existence. I could tell she was wondering what was going on. Anyway, I had a blast with Chloe and Zoe at lunch today, so I forgave them for the shower fiasco in PE class. I can't wait to hang out with them every day in the library. Who would have thunk I'd actually look forward to being in LSA and shelving books. I could totally be BFFs with Chloe and Zoe because all three of us are a little crazy. Today, Friday, September 13th. I was pretty sick and tired of hearing about Mackenzie and her stupid little party. But since she is my geometry class and I sitting but since she's in my geometry class and I sitting right behind her, I knew I was just going to have to deal with it. I was trying my best to ignore her. Then she turned around, smiled at me, and did the strangest thing. Here's Mackenzie. She handed me a bright pink invitation tied with a big white saint bow. I gasped and almost fell out of my chair. My brain was like, OMG, OMG, OMG. It was the most beautiful thing I have ever seen, other than maybe the new cell phone I want. Who would have thought that I would get an invitation to the party of the year? Then it drowned on me, then there might be some kind of really cruel joke. So I looked around the room for a hidden camera or something. That's when I realized the most of the other girls in my class were staring at me with even me and a default. It was really weird because suddenly I noticed I had tiny lint balls all over my favorite hoodie, and it made me feel self-conscious, so I tried to pick a few of them off. None of Mackenzie's friends would be caught dead if in a not form of the mall hoodie with tin balls on it, so I made a metal note. I'm gonna read it and then show you the picture to you guys. Burn carpet wardrobe. Worn out sneakers. I'm just gonna point to it. Worn out sneakers. Sweatshirt. Sorry if you can't see it. Not from the mall. Minty hoodie. It's hanging down. Scarf knitted by aunt. Stained birthday present from grandma. It's at the bottom. Dirty PE socks. Out of style clogs. Baggy tank top. Rest of my embarrassing wardrobe. Low-raising jeans with shaggy belt. And there's that picture. Mackenzie was still smiling at me like I was her new BFF or something. Hey, hon, I was just wondering if you would blank. But I was so excited I jumped right in and interrupted her before she could even finish her sentence. Mackenzie, I would love to, I guessed. Thanks for asking me. Hun. Okay, so I actually called her hun, even though I always thought the word sounded super phony. And yes, I was happy and relieved that finally Mackenzie had stopped treating me like some kind of distant fashion changed loser. But most, I was in shock. I could hardly believe I was actually going to Mackenzie's birthday party. Soon, I was going to have friends and a social life. OMG, what if I ended up with a boyfriend? I could literally just pee my pants and die. I was starting to believe my That So Hot magazine was right. Maybe the key to happiness really was friends, fun, fashion, and flirting. Squeak! Squeak! See, she is in heaven. I would say. I felt like I was floating on air surrounded by sunshine, rainbows, twinkling stars, and pink cotton candy clouds as I personally clutched my invitation to Mackenzie's party over my heart. My hands were trembling as I untied the ribbon. Sorry. ribbon and tore open the envelope. Suddenly, Mackenzie narrowed her eyes at me and scolded like I was something smeared at the bottom of her shoe. "You idiot," she hissed. "What are you doing?" "I'm opening my invitation," I stammered. I was already starting to have a bad feeling about this whole party thing. "Like I would invite you," she sneered, flipping her blonde tess and batting her long lashes at me in disgust. "Aren't you the new girl who hangs around my locker all the time like some kind of creepy stalker?" "Well, yes. I mean, no. Actually, my locker is right next to yours," I muttered. "Are you sure?" she said, looking up and down like I was lying to her or something. I couldn't believe she was actually pretending like she didn't know me. "I've only had locker next to hers like forever." "I'm very sure," I replied, a little unsure of myself. Then Mackenzie took out her Kenzie lip gloss and applied like 3 extra thick layers of her gaze after gazing at herself for a little compact mirror for an entire minute. She is so stuck on herself. She snapped and shut and glared at me. Before you so rudely interrupt me, I was simply asking if you would pass my invitation to Jessica. How was I supposed to know you were going to rip it open like some unclarified gorilla?" Mackenzie spat. It says that's her. It says me. Right there. And it says me opening the invitation. Then everyone in the class turned around and stared at me. I could not believe my ears. How dare that girl actually called me unclarified. Okay, my bad," I said, trying to sound coolly not non-chat about this whole thing while blinking back tears. Who's Jessica?" Suddenly, I felt a sharp tap on my shoulder. I turned around to face the girl sitting in the desk behind me. "I'm Jessica," she announced, rolling her eyes at me. "I can't believe you opened my invitation." I definitely remembered seeing her hanging out with Mackenzie next to my locker. She had long blonde hair and was wearing glittery pink lip gloss, a pink sweater, a pink miniskirt, and a headband trimmed with fake pink diamonds. If I had spotted her in Toys R Us, I swear I would have probably mistaken her for a new fashion doll. Totally tricked off Jessica. And pearl in the bottom, in the box, says, "Hi, I'm Jessica and I really ticked you. I was desperately trying to tie the satin ribbon back on when Jessica snatched the invitation from my hand so violently I almost got a paper cut. I felt like a total idiot. And to make matters worse, I heard a few of the kids around me snickering. This was absolutely the most embarrassing moment of my pathetic little life. And I had no doubt that I just And I had no doubt that in just a matter of minutes, everyone in the entire school was going to be texting gossip about me. I was relieved when our geometry teacher, Miss Springu, finally started class. She spent the entire hour at the boarding reviewing how to calculate the volume of a cylinder, sphere, and cone for for our upcoming test on Monday. How to calculate volume. What is that? But I was too freaked out to consider it on math formulas and was totally not listening. I just sat there staring at the back of Mackenzie's head, wishing I could disappear. I guess I must have been really upset because a tear rolled down my cheek and splattered my geometry notebook. But I wiped it up with the sleeve of my not from the mall lint ball covered hoodie before anyone saw it. Even though I was totally bummed about all the drama over the invitation, I really wasn't that mad at Mackenzie. I'm such a loser. If I was having a party, I wouldn't invite myself either. There's that picture. Saturday, September 14th. I've had the most horrible week ever. Why? Because Mackenzie was totally trashed my life. Has totally trashed my life. 1. She totally ridiculed me with her cruel fashion commentary. 2. She ruined my chances in an grade art competition. 3. She dissed me by not inviting me to her party. 4. She embarrassed me by calling me an unclassed gorilla. 5. She publicly humiliated me by giving me an invitation and then uninviting me. 6. She tried to steal the one true love of my life, Brandon Roberts, by inviting him to her party, flirting with him, twirling her hair around, and desperate attempt to hypnotize him into doing her evil binding. I plan to spend my entire weekend just sitting on my bed in my pajamas, staring at the wall and sulking, which strangely enough always seems to make me feel a lot better. Me sulking in my room. But my plans were completely ruined. Around noon, my mom came bouncing into my room, all cheerful, and announced that for lunch we were having a family cookout on the grill. She said, "Honey, get dressed quick and come out into the backyard and join the fun." Well, obviously, I wasn't in the mood for fun, and I just wanted to be left alone. And I didn't like hanging out in our backyard because I have seen some fairly large spiders out there. But I have a thing about spiders. They creep me out. Also, my doctor has demoted me as being highly allergic to pests and stuck human blood such as spiders, mosquitoes, ticks, leeches, and vampires. My life motto is bull suckers cannot be why bloodsuckers can't be trusted. Anyway, when I went outside, my dad was wearing the apron that we got him for Father's Day. I said, "My dad is the world's greatest cook, but most of the letters have faded off in the wash, and it now says, my dad eats ook. My dad eats ook. He was grilled the meat while wristing old disco tunes when out of the blue and suddenly developed a major complication, not with his wrist but his grill. I guess you could call it the bug problem. So when he told me to run into the house and get the can of bug spray, I said a really bad feeling about it. I was like, "Dad, are you sure?" He was like, "I don't plan on sharing my $20 streaks with these pesky flies." Well, that was a big mistake because the bugs were not pesky flies. You would think an experienced estimator would recognize a fly when he saw one. Unfortunately for Dad, he was dealing with the nesting of very angry wasps. Our family barbecue picnic, a story in pictures. Here's the story in pictures. And then the next one. And then at the end it says, and then when they're done it says the end. Well, our cookout ended up being a total disaster. To make Dad feel better, we all complained him on how handsome he looked in his snazzy apron, even though it was a little dirty from knocking over the neighbor lady's garbage cans when he was running away from those wasps. Poor Dad. However, the good news is that I was able to go back up to my room and put a few more hours of intense smoking. Woohoo! And that's where we're going to stop today. Come back for part 5 tomorrow, someplace or someday else. Goodbye.